What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. In this episode, I'm going to go over about 30 small changes that you can make to your workspace to help you make more sales. This is based on the book by BJ Fogg, Tiny Habits, The Small Changes That Change Everything. All of the supplies in this book are linked in the description in my Amazon links. So if you want to take a look at some of the ways that people in my group have put together their workspaces, this video is for you. So appreciate your guys' time. Please smash the like button. And if you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing, because every single video you will have stuff that you can do to immediately improve your online store. So this is from Amber. She's utilizing an L-shaped table, which is great because you can fully utilize the corner of a room. Also, I love the art in the room because it gives you a visual space that you enjoy working in. Large garbage can. When I look at these photos, I'm always looking for small things that I can integrate in my store immediately. This is my personal space. The tip that I'm sharing with you guys is to have all your shipping supplies out of the way, but also reachable. This makes it so someone in my store doesn't have to be 5'9" or higher to reach these, but I have all my shipping supplies above, easy to reach, and actually in order of the way that I use them to make it easier. All the boxes that I commonly use are all available, and they're all in stock, and I reorder them when the supply gets low. This in the morning, I have a space where I charge my phone. I talk about in my videos that I only have a short charger. This sticky note is where I write down what I want to get done that day, and my workout clothes are laid out the night before. This has been one of the biggest hacks in my workspace, so I wanted to share it with you guys. It looks simple, but it has huge effects. Also, it forces me to get out of bed immediately and just get to work. This is Don's workspace in my group. Love it. Everything that he uses is actually visible, so he doesn't have to open any drawers. Everything is right there. He also has everything on rolls, which makes it easier to use. All the cleaning supplies and agents are here. This is a garage. When you guys first met me, I worked out of my garage and I had cabinets like these, but now I've moved to a different space. But I love Don's space, super clean and organized. This is Don's storage system, which he said that he copied from me, which is awesome because I used to have these cabinets in my garage, but they're all numbered. It's easy to find. These are things that I really recommend that you organize. If you have different size items, have different size bins. This is a great way to make your garage space really useful. This is another part of Don's garage where he has these rolling racks. I have these too, and I recommend these shelves. They're relatively inexpensive, 50 to 100 bucks each. You can stack. I recommend stacking the heavy stuff on the bottom and the bigger items on top. This is Don's testing station. Beautiful. He can basically test anything. He has all the tools. And one thing that he mentioned was if he has a larger tool that he needs to test or repair something, he will just rent it. So that's a great tip for people who sell hard goods, hardware tools. This is a beautiful space to come work in. Also, this record player sounds great. If you want to listen to some jams, I definitely recommend having a good sound system. So if you guys have pictures of your workspace that you want to share with me, please email them to me at chris@dailyrefinement.com so that we can share your ideas with the rest of the world. And again, I appreciate you guys stopping by, trying to get my channel going. So please smash the like button. It really helps the algorithm. Up here we have storage above. I recommend utilizing vertical space. So Don's using every single square inch of his home, and it makes sense because we live in California and space is expensive. This is from Fronia. She has a backdrop with a plant and a fuzzy carpet. This is the classic setup for you use the carpet for shoes and then maybe you use the backdrop. This is a little bit more fun, and I don't have any issue with that. According to Google, they want pure white background. However, you don't need to have pure white background. Just have what makes you happy. The main thing is going to a space that you can consistently list in. If you're not consistently listing, it doesn't matter how beautiful your setup is. Most people waste too much time working on their setup and not just getting going and creating the habit of listing continuously. Okay, so now we have Jeannie. Jeannie uses the same shelves that I use. I use both the rolling shelves and these husky shelves. Again, all my supplies are in the link below, bit.ly/reseller supplies, but I recommend putting the big bulky stuff on top and then below using some kind of bin system. It doesn't have to be uniform, but you can see how much space is wasted when you don't have uniform boxes because all the spaces in between these bins is not being used. So if you have uniform sized boxes and uniform sized inventory, you can store basically twice as much stuff. This is Jeannie's workstation. So a couple of things here I really like. Calendar and bulletin board. You can put here a visual scoreboard of how many items you're listing each day. She currently, her daughter's home from school, I believe, so she gave the space back to her daughter. But I love dual monitors, and this right here, in my opinion, is slightly cluttered. But again, this is her daughter using it and not her. But for me, if I was working here, I'd want it to be more clutter free. But that's just a comment, not to pick on Jeannie. Here, this is her processing table and shipping station. You've got the thermal printer. You've got a scale with a visible readout. This is my favorite. A lot of the scales that they have, including the one I recommend for beginners, sometimes it's hard to see the display. So eventually upgrade to a scale where the display is separate like this, so you can read it even when there's something on top of it. This is Melinda's setup. So I love this because there's a few things here that I really love. One, this is in her kitchen, so you can see how limited of a space she has to work with. She's got her workstation in the corner, and right here is the list next pile. In almost every single person's setup, you'll see a list next pile. It should be small like this. It shouldn't have too many things because there's only so many things you can list at a time. So make sure that you give yourself a small area of list next, and that'll help you stay on track and not get unfocused. Okay, next is the shoe prep station. I love this. The only thing that's missing from this, in my opinion, is a drying rack. So a lot of people sell shoes, including me, and it's kind of messy. So you want to have shop towels, all the different lotions, maybe a shoe buffer, brushes, and a garbage can, and ideally next to a window or door because the fumes can kind of get to you if you're doing shoe polish. So shoe stations are fantastic. Have all your supplies on a cart. And I have 2 rolling carts that I can move around if I want to take it to a different area. I love this space. Okay, this is from Matt. I think everyone that sells clothing needs an oversized rack. So I use double Zracks, which we'll go over in just a moment. But you can see how big this pair of overalls is. That's really huge. So you definitely want to have an oversized rack for jackets, coats, oversized pants, and this stuff sells really well, obviously, because it's harder to find, and people of this size definitely enjoy online shopping more than going to the store. Also, this is for replenishable, so you can see on this shelf there's like 6 of one kind of jean, 6 of one kind of pant. This makes it easier to basically separate what you're selling. I talk about selling replenishables. Those are things that you have more than one of, or multi-quantity items, and have an oversized area. I love having different areas in your workspace for different items, because if you were to put this in your regular area, it's going to take up a whole bin. This is Matt's storage area. He buys commercial lots of clothing, and then they get sorted. So this is important to have an area. Notice how big this room is. It's probably 10 by 10 just for sorting. Most people don't have a sorting area. It's just their kitchen. But I recommend wherever it is, make sure that you have enough space to get it, unload it, and then sort it in the like items before you move on. This is Matt's photo setup. I really love this copper pipe that he has right here with the 2 clips. What he does is he can take that copper pipe off, clip the garment to it, and then put it back onto these 2 commercial hooks. So he built this out of 2x2s. It's really inexpensive and very, very strong. He can't do a pull-up on the bar, but a lot of the clips are really flimsy, and over time they'll break. But this obviously is more of a heavy-duty solution to hanging pants. Okay, now we're in Rich's room. Something that maybe some of you didn't pick up immediately is that there's natural light. Rich doesn't have a listing problem. He lists consistently and always has, and I think one of the reasons is because natural light is a lot nicer to work in. Obviously, Rich can do some organization to make it look a little prettier, but again, it doesn't matter. He's actually getting the work done. So again, your workspace doesn't have to be clean if you're comfortable with it, but it does need to be effective. So behind him is his list next pile. To his left is put away. So get the item, list it, put it away. Doesn't have to be more complicated than that. Rich is also using this. This is an example of a Z-rack. This was a single Z-rack. I have the double, which means it's 2 rows. I have that linked below if you want to check it out. You can also, on a double Z-rack, take the bottom rack off for your oversized items. That can save you space. We'll go over, every single person in the group has a different lighting kit. I have the ones that I use linked, but again, doesn't matter. Use the one that fits your budget and do a lot of homework, because you want to make your money go really far. This is Rich's system in the garage. You can see the stackable bins. This is important to recognize because stackable bins save money when you don't have shelves yet. So when you get this, get bins first before you get shelves, and then number them on the outside so that you can find things. Again, grow into your system. My first system was pile on the floor, and it has grown over time. 1% improvement, guys. So this is Scott Race's setup. I love it. He's got a Jiffy steamer with a metal nozzle. Very important if you sell clothing. It makes it a lot faster. Scott's Workspace I really love because it's all wireless. So if you have a setup like this where you have a wireless charger, Rollo's not wireless, but the wires are relatively hidden, wireless keyboard, mouse, it just makes your visual workspace have less mental real estate that you're dealing with. And then here we have Jeannie, awesome workspace. I would love to work here. All of her boxes are visible, and she's got a laptop stand here, which is critical for saving space. And then here we have William with visual processes in his queue. This is his listing station. Notice how clutter-free it is. I would actually prefer working here than most of the other spaces. This is actually number one. I would prefer working here over all the spaces we just looked at because it's clutter-free. My mind wouldn't be distracted. I could just get here, work, and then go do something else with my life. So appreciate your guys' comments. If you guys want to let me know something that helps you in your workspace, again, either comment it or email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com. Have to plug my group because they're so awesome and generous to share these ideas with me. If you want to try it for a month, email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com and I'll send you the Zoom room information. Otherwise, this video is also sponsored by my reseller field guide, which is all my processes. You can get that for $35 with code YouTube in all caps if you click on the link below to my teachable course. But again, the way I do it is not how anybody else does it. So you can look at other people, model it, make your own process. And until next time, guys, I'll see you and make progress daily.